Hey guys, welcome back to another video from Let's DevOps. In today's video, we are going to look into an often overlooked topic, which is your container security. Now, when you as a DevOps lead architect design a CI solution, uh, a DevSecOps CI solution, you have to keep in mind about where you want to place the security scanning tools in your CI pipeline. Uh, More often than not, you tend to incorporate the code quality, which is SonarQube, a SaaS tool, a DAS tool, and then even and on the next level, you also incorporate a library scanning tool or third-party library tool like a Nexus IQ or OWASP dependency check. But one of the most often missed out tools is the container security tools. And that's what we are going to look into today's video. If this is something interesting for you, then let's get started. Uh, as you know, I didn't want to show any other example that's available in the internet. I wanted to show you something that I built as a part of one of our videos when we set up the CI CD solution, a standard, a template for how a CI solution should look like. And in that pipeline also, we did touch upon this container security tool. So here you go, you check out the code, you clean out the workspace, you build the application, and you do a unit test with a unit testing tool like a Jacoco, JUnit, uh, or any other tool. Then starts your security scanning tools. We start with SonarQube, the code quality check. We start then proceed with a third-party dependency checking tool with OWASP dependency check, and then comes the image building. So most of the applications in today's day and age have been containerized, have been converted into Docker images, and so introducing a container security tool has become a must. In this example, I have incorporated Anchor scan tool, which has now become Grype. It was a legacy name for Grype back then, which is Anchor. And then only when all of these scanning tools look good, the results are a go, then you push the image to the registry and your CI pipeline continues. Uh, if this is something that is interesting, this video is already available in our Jenkins playlist. So please do go and watch the Jenkins playlist to understand how a typical CI and a CD solution should look like, considering the DevSecOps um, solution in mind. Right. Now, for today's video, we are going to talk about two of the most reputed open source container scanning tools, container security tools, which is one, Trivy, and the second one is Grype, or the new uh, name for Anchor, which was the legacy. I still remember using it around 2017, and it was called as Anchor, and the command line tool was Anchor CLI. And now they have rebranded, or I guess it's acquired. I'm not sure. It's called Grype. Right now, uh, let's go to the first scanning tool, which is Trivy. And both these tools, Trivy as well as the Grype, have pretty solid documentation for you to get started. Very quickly, what are these tools? These tools are simple, comprehensive vulnerability scanner tools for containers and other artifacts. Containers, yes, because you are going to scan your Docker image and it is going to identify any vulnerabilities on each of the layers, the underlying OS, and it is going to throw a result. What does these other artifacts means? Other artifact is these tools are also capable enough to scan your Git repository and give you the vulnerabilities in terms of the container security in mind. One of the examples of other artifacts could be these tools are smart enough to scan your SBOMs. What is SBOM? SBOM is basically software bill of material, and um, how do you get an SBOM generated? Again, you have dedicated tools that will help you with the software bill of tools to generate your software bill of materials. Basically, SBOMs are nothing but a comprehensive overview of what all pieces does this application consist of, is basically what your SBOM file will give you. And to generate that, you have tools like Cyclone DX, which will you just need to configure it and then scan your Git repository, and it will throw you an SBOM file, a comprehensive software bill of materials of all of the components that is involved in this application. Right. So yes, if you also go to Grype, which is the Anchor, it also says the same, is a vulnerability scanner for container images and the underlying file systems. Now, why I've picked these two tools, Trivy and Grype, because there are a number of open source options, but these two stand out and are one of the reputed open source container security scan tools. Right. Now, let's get started with an actual demo to see how they perform and how the scanning is done.
Hey guys, before getting further into the video, I hope you're liking the content coming out from Let's DevOps. Thank you so much for that. If you are someone who's looking out for career guidance in DevOps, DevSecOps, or you would like to do a domain shift from any other domain into DevOps, DevSecOps, but you're not sure how to get started, that is where you can reach out to me personally on one-on-one sessions or one-on-one mentorship sessions via TopMate. I have a list of services that I offer for colleagues who would want to get themselves started, or if you're already in DevOps but you would want to strengthen your skills, then please do reach out to my services on TopMate. If not, if you're already in DevOps but you're finding it hard to crack an interview, I also support with mock DevOps DevSecOps interviews purely based on my experience and from the different interviews that I've given and also taken being a DevOps architect. Or if you're completely from a non-IT background, but you've cracked your first job in Germany, I also provide complete relocation assistance, which involves what's the salary you need to negotiate, support you need on the visas, what are the things that you need to look for when you are moving to Germany, apartment search, the initial expenses, and so on. All of it, I can break it down and give you a concise list of what you need to look for before moving into Germany. If any of these services could be of help to you, please do reach out to my TopMate URL. I will pin it here, and also you can find it on the description of each of my videos. Thank you so much. Let's jump back into the video.
The very good thing is that they are pretty easy and lightweight. So there is not much installation configuration required, though you can actually do some advanced configurations. But if you just want to use them out of the box, it's pretty simple. Both Trivy and Grype have installations. You can either install them as binaries or use any package manager to install, or they are also available as Docker images. There you see, you just have to pull the Docker image and then start using it. We are going to use this method so that it's very lightweight and easy to show you. Same way with Grype as well. If you come to their installation guide, they give you different kinds of installations, and they also have a running container to do the scans. So let's start with Trivy. What does it say? If it's a Linux machine, because my local machine is a Linux machine, which is Ubuntu machine, and if I want to scan it on my local machine, all I need to do is run this image Aqua Security Trivy, and then I just need to parse in my image name to scan the image. One of the input is it asks you for your cache directory. In Ubuntu, generally the cache directory is root.cache, so I just use the same. I have the command here. It's not this complex, so what I do is I just copy this. On my local machine also, the cache directory is root cache, and that's what we are also going to mount inside the container. We are also mounting the local Docker daemon inside the container. And finally, we want to specify some image. Let me check what are some of the images that I have on my local machine. I have a lot of stuff. Let me pull some image. Maybe I will pull this and update it here. So basically, I want to do a Trivy scan across this image. And if I copy and then run, yeah, obviously I do not have this Aqua Security Trivy image on my local, so it's going to connect to the internet and pull it from Docker Hub. And once it has pulled, it has initiated a scan across this Docker image that I have. And let's see how the resultant output looks like so that we have a good understanding of how Trivy performs. All right, what happens There you see it has actually spit out a pretty comprehensive report, and it clearly says, hey, these are the detected vulnerabilities. There is a one, there is an info, and here it sums it up in a summary that unknowns, lows, mediums, high, and critical vulnerabilities. Now, based on this result, you can then add another stage in your pipeline, like a quality gating, which will either pass the pipeline. All right, what happens? There you see it has actually spit out a pretty comprehensive report, and it clearly says, hey, these are the detected vulnerabilities. There is a one, there is an info, and here it sums it up in a summary that unknowns, lows, mediums, high, and critical vulnerabilities. Now, based on this result, you can then add another stage in your pipeline, like a quality gating, which will either pass the pipeline or fail the pipeline. So you can have something like, if there are at least one critical vulnerabilities identified, then you hard stop or hard break the pipeline and do not allow the image to go into your container registry. Good. That's what we wanted. And now let's quickly jump into the next tool and see how the report of the next tool, which is the Grype, works. And to do that, again, as I said, Grype has good documentation. So this is the command that you need to run Grype. So if I already have a copy of it. So same way, you mount the Docker daemon volume, you give a name for the image, and finally you specify what image to be scanned. In our case, it is going to be the simple web app Tomcat. I copy, I paste, and this is what we would want to run on the local Ubuntu machine. Right, Grype is also not available, so let it quickly pull down the image and we'll see how the report coming out of Grype looks like. Yeah, I was just talking about the Cyclone DX to generate your SBOM. There is a site documentation. Please do read through it. There is also a command line that the Cyclone DX gives, which will help you to generate the SBOM of your repository application and so on. So just in case you're interested about SBOMs. Let's give it a few seconds for the scan to be done. So one thing that we notice is Grype is taking quite some time as opposed to your Trivy in doing the scan and then showing the scan output. Let's say if it's efficient or there you go. A pretty detailed summary going into the details. Looks like there is a huge vulnerability database that Grype connects to, and it gives a pretty solid report. The utilities that were scanned, it is coming from which installed version or library. If there is an issue, then it is fixed in which version of the library. So basically, what you want to upgrade to, and what was the OS type? Is it Debian and so on? And each of the vulnerability is tied to a CVE number or the vulnerability index number, and then the seriousness is medium or high or low. So there you go. It has a lot of medium. The same image has so the good thing here is, so here it says that it's actually fixed in these versions, and if you upgrade to this version, then this vulnerability will get removed. There you go. But Trivy does not give you a final summary of how many highs, lows, mediums issues that were there. That could have been a good add-on, just like Grype. All in all, so each tool focuses on each specific stuffs. I find the uh, Grype scanning to be even more solid, detailed, and gives you a lot of information, while the report coming out of Trivy is user-friendly, but not sure if it really does the hard work of going into each of the underlying layers. Anyways, that's more so. I just wanted to introduce you to a couple of open source, reputed open source scanning tools. This, I'm sure, will help you to get started with your DevSecOps journey and integrate these scanning tools into your CI pipeline. As I said, you can then follow it with a quality gate and then decide whether you want to go or no go with the pipeline. That's pretty much it from my side. If this was a good session and added value to you, I would suggest you to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Keep looking out for further videos coming out from Let's DevOps. See you then. Take care. Bye bye.